Alright, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be explaining how collecting income as well as purchasing works within the game of Axis and Allies. I'm using Axis and Allies 1942 2nd edition to complete the demonstration. The income in the game is called an IPC, that stands for Industrial Production Credit. On the game board you have all these territories listed with numbers. The way you receive IPCs is based on the type and how many territories you have. For example, here in Egypt, it has a 2 above it. That means you're going to be receiving 2 IPCs as long as you control that territory. In Germany, it's a lot more valuable of a territory. It's worth 10 IPCs. You will receive 10 IPCs every single turn. In America, another high productivity place, you're going to be receiving 12 IPCs per turn for owning that. Some territories in the game aren't worth that much, like Novosibirsk, which is only worth 1 IPC. It makes sense because that wasn't a very developed area during the time of the war, and still today isn't too developed. Some territories aren't worth any IPCs, like Anglo-Egyptian Sudan. For owning that, you will not gain any economic value. The game itself does not come with a currency in the game. What I mean by that is physical currency. They just say keep track of your money using a pen and paper. You can go online and buy paper money, which I've done in the past, but today I'm actually using poker chips to demonstrate or to show how much money I actually own in the game. So let's kind of take a look down here. This is just for understanding purposes. I've divided all the poker chips up in order to show their value. I've mimicked it off of what the game has done with these smaller chips to represent units. So the white one's going to be representing the 1 within this game. The green is worth 3. The red is worth 5. The black, or I guess the black and the blue are worth a little higher. The blue is worth 10 and the black is worth 20. And that is just so you can understand how much it's worth within this example. For example, let's take a look over here. This is turn 1 with Russia. I don't have all the units on the board. I only put some of them down. But they start off with 24 IPCs. On these setup cards, it shows you how many IPCs you start with. There was a couple typos, and so I fixed them there. Germany starting with 41, and United Kingdom started with 31. But Russia, they started off with 24. That is the sum of all their territories currently added up. So that's everything from the Caucasus all the way to Soviet Far East. And that equals 24 IPCs. And so I've made a purchase over here based on the mobilization zone. This is just a little chart on the board showing you how much each unit costs and their attributes associated, meaning how much they can move, attack, and defend. Here I bought 2 infantry, a fighter, and 2 artillery. That is equal to 24 IPCs. And once I make the purchase, I can just set them down here on the mobilization zone. I will place them at the end of my turn on the board. So we'll leave it there for now. Your turn would continue. You would do your combat movement, your non-combat movement. And for example, say you conquer West Russia within your turn as the Soviet Union. Right now I don't have any guys right there. But the battle would go on and you could collect income. Luckily, up here on top, here's a little chart to help keep track of how many IPCs. Currently, Russia was at 24. However, let's say they just conquered West Russia, which is worth 2 IPCs. And so we can actually move this from 24 to 26, and in turn doing so, move Germany down to 39 IPCs. Now, it's at the end of the game, or at least the end of the round. Russia is now going to collect their new income, which is 26 IPCs. So we can actually take that, and I don't know, we'll just set it up there in Russia for now. Russia now has the chance to deploy their new units. On the board, you'll see these industrial complexes, which are these little factory-shaped symbols. You can only place units on these territories, and there's a max of the IPC value listed on the territory. That is to say, here in Karelia, you can only place 2 units here because it's only worth 2 IPCs. In Russia, you can place 8 units in total because it's 8 IPCs. And in the Caucasus, you can place 4 units in total because it's worth 4 IPCs. I have 5 units, so that's no problem whatsoever. Say I were to purchase more units than I could place down, that would simply just be refunded back to me. Say I bought, I don't know, something crazy, 25 infantry, because I had the money to do so. I don't have the capacity to place it down on the board because my max would only be 14. So I'd have to refund anything above 14 infantry. But let's go ahead. I'm thinking it'll be good. Let's protect Karelia. Let's put 2 up there. Let's maybe throw our fighter down on Russia. And let's see this last one. I don't know. We'll just put it down in the Caucasus because why not? So that could be an okay move. We didn't go over the capacity of the industrial complex in any of them. We maxed out here because it was a max of 2. We put 2 units down. So everything is good. Now moving on, that would be the end of the Russian turn. And so now we're going on to the German turn. Germany starts off with 41 IPCs. And so that's actually quite a bit. Here's a purchase I made, only taking 39 IPCs. About 2 destroyers, a tank, some infantry, and an AA gun. That's going to leave me with 2 extra IPCs left over. These IPCs are just going to return back into my savings account, I could say, or back into my possession, and I can use them on a different round later on. Now, you would continue the German turn as normal. Say they go about, they do their thing. Obviously, there'd be more units on the board to play with. But maybe in the end of things, they take over the Caucasus and they defeat all these units. Now, this is going to change by 4 IPCs. So you're actually going to come up here to the Soviet Union. They're at 26. Now they're going to be down to 22 because they lost 4 IPCs. And Germany is going to go up from 39 to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they'll receive 43 IPCs at this round, which is all right. I mean, maybe that was the only area they took over, and so now they're going to receive more than what they started the game with. So things are looking good for them, and they can continue on forward. Now it's time to place these units. It's important to keep in mind that there's a limit again. Germany, you can place 10. Italy, you can place 3. I think I've got less than 10 units there, so I have no problem. Ships have to be placed in a sea zone adjacent to an industrial complex. In this case, I can place them in sea zone 15, or I can place them in sea zone 5. I'll just place them in sea zone 15, taking up 2 of the 3 capacity there at that. And the rest of them, I'll just go ahead and place them in Germany, because maybe I'm planning something to do with that. So, I mean, that's pretty basic on how purchasing works within the game, as well as collecting income. Each round and each player will do the same thing. They'll kind of take over territories, adjust the markers up here, collect their income, use the income on the next round. Something else that I didn't mention is repairs to industrial complexes. So industrial complexes, I've mentioned this in a previous video, can be bombarded by bombers. You can't gain more than double the IPC value of damage. Meaning, say a bomber attacks here, they get 8, they get 9, it would only be worth 8 because it's worth 4. And you'll have to do repairs in order to place units down again. Say this had 1 piece of damage on it, you can only produce 3 units here. If it had 2, you can only produce 2. Each damage is 1 lost unit of production that you can produce at that complex. And then a repair is just 1 IPC, and you can make that during the purchasing phase at the beginning of your turn. I hope this video was useful for you today, so you could better understand how purchasing as well as collecting income works within the game of Axis and Allies. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching.